Hi teams, I want to start with this wonderful quote from Thomas Edison. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like hard work. It's one of my absolute favorites and I hope you enjoy it as well. So this session is around market research. Our learning intention is to reinforce some key skills around research and inquiry. And we're working through all 4 of our core skill focuses, including communication, understanding, solving problems, and working smart. So first of all, I want you to have a think about why should we research? If you'd like, take some time to pause the video and have a chat with your team. Why should we research information? Now, we research for a whole lot of reasons, and I'm sure you came up with plenty. Some of these might include finding out or backing up our ideas or opinions or point, or to explore and understand something a bit more. Perhaps it's to gather information to figure out what our next steps are, to understand opinions. So there's a whole lot of reasons why we research. And market research is no different. So a market is defined as an area or arena in which commercial dealings are conducted. So a market is where your business, your idea, your organization functions. The people, the other organizations, all that space where it works. And market research is doing research into the market or industry or area to gain a deeper understanding that informs your decisions that you make throughout your solution. So really think that this is a really key part and helps your decision-making process. Now, when we're thinking about how do we begin to start doing market research, there's a number of things that you need to think about. So firstly, it's what do we need to research? The first thing you need to research is your customers. So who are they? How are they affected by your problem? And you need to think about being really specific about this. How old are they? Where are they? And what effect does the problem have on them? The second thing you need to research is the benefits. What effect will your solution have for your customers? What will the benefit be? What is some of the data or statistics that you plan to decrease or increase based on your solution? And then finally, your current industry. This is who else is out there that might be doing something similar. It might not be exactly the same, but it might be in the same ballpark of what you plan to do. And how are you different? What makes you special from others that are out there? Now, the reason we do this is we need to get an understanding of whether you're going to have customers at all and who they might be. You also need to understand whether the solution or idea you're coming up with actually meets your customers' needs. If it doesn't, you may need to rethink your solution. You also need to get an understanding of if your solution will actually have benefit or customers or value that your customers will pay for. Sometimes you may come up with a solution, but it's not something that people are willing to actually pay money for. So you need to keep that in mind. And finally, how will you stand out from everyone else that is out there? What makes you special? Now, when you're starting to think about where to do some research, there's a few things that you can do. Surveys are really valuable. And if you are doing a survey, think about keeping it really neat, tidy, and concise. And you can share any SurveyMonkey links or anything on Collaborate, the chat platform, for other teams to complete if you would like them to. You can use books or other publications. Make sure that if you are researching online that you use reputable websites. So Wikipedia is not considered a reputable website because anyone can go in and edit that website. Some great ones to think about are things like the Australian Bureau of Statistics, the website's there for you, or economy.id. There's some really great ones. You can also look at council or industry body websites or other local businesses. Usually anything that's a .gov is quite good to look at as well. So if you are going to do a survey, there's a few things to keep in mind. So Firstly, the reason we conduct surveys is to get an understanding of what people actually think. Also, to know what your customers value and to get their insights to help you make decisions. So it's all about understanding others' opinions. Now, when designing your survey, make sure that you use multiple choice answers where possible. This helps you when you're coming to analysing that data and ensuring that you're not wading through a whole lot of variations, that you have some really clear guidelines of what you're looking for. Make sure you keep it brief, no more than 10 questions. I'm sure everyone has had experience of completing massive surveys, and they do get very time consuming. And lastly, try and talk to your prospective customers, not just your friends. So if you're looking at designing a childcare centre, try and talk to parents or children that might be directly related to that idea. So you are going to need to submit a market research task as part of your completing the program. So you need to understand what your problem is and how you're going to solve it. And in order to do that, you need to do this market research. To complete the task, there are 3 things you're going to need to do, and you do need to make sure that they align with your problem frame. So as we talked about earlier, you need to research your customers, your benefit of your solution, and your current industry, and there is a template online for you. When you're doing your research, there's a couple of hints and tips that might be helpful for you. So always make sure you take notes during your research, whether it's you've got an open document or a piece of paper next to you where you can jot down some key ideas, facts, as you're going through. Always record your your sources. A good way to do this, and this is what I do, is I have an open Word document when I'm researching, and I copy and paste the URL straight away and then put all the notes that I take underneath it. Always check your sources, make sure they're reputable, try and use local data, and try and make sure that you're not just researching facts for fact's sake, that all the information or data or facts that you find are actually useful and inform your decision making. Try and work smart. Make sure you're working together. You don't have a few people all researching the same thing. Split things up between you. Always make sure that your facts are consistent, so there's everything lines up together. If you've got a number of competing facts, you might need to do a bit more research to figure out why. And finally, your research should inform your thinking, not just facts for fact's sake. Make sure that they can be interpreted and you look at where they fit in. So where to from here? So you should be close to finishing your problem frame. You can start doing your market research into your problem and help inform your decision making going forward. You need to complete your MOU and start preparing for that mentoring session. All right, teams, good luck.